The Magic Crystal. Fantasy Novel. Library of Imagination. Virel. In the heart of the ancient Forest of Eldara, where the trees whisper secrets older than time, lived a boy named Aron. He was 13 years old and carried a heart full of questions. Everyone in the village of Stjenka knew there was something in the forest. At night a quiet shimmer would come from there. Not a sound, but a light that had rhythm, as if it were breathing. Aron was not brave. But he was curious. And curiosity, as his grandmother Mira used to say, is sometimes stronger than fear. That night he took a lantern and set out. The forest welcomed him into silence. He walked over moss, listening to his heartbeat pounding louder than his footsteps. The lantern gave a weak light. The trees towered above him like giants. After an hour of walking, he saw the source of the light. Between two oaks, inside a hollow in the stone, a crystal the size of a fist pulsed. Blue and gold colors flowed through it like tides. Aron bent down. The crystal was not hot. It was not cold. When he touched it, he felt something strange, as if someone were whispering from within, directly into his thoughts. "Finally," said a voice. It did not come from outside. It was inside him, and yet it was not his. Peaceful. Ancient. Like the sound of a river flowing for millions of years, Aron wanted to drop the crystal, but he couldn't, not from fear, but because he no longer wanted to. It felt as though he was holding something that had always been meant to be in his hands. "Who are you?" Aron thought. The crystal glowed brighter. The voice answered, "I am the memory of this place. I keep what the forest has forgotten. And you are the one who can listen." Aron sat down on the grass. Above him the treetops swayed gently. The crystal rested in his palm, warm like the hand of a friend. And then it began. The crystal started telling him stories. "Why me?" Aron asked aloud. The crystal flickered. "Because you entered without a sword. Without the intention to take. You only wanted to know. And knowledge seeks open hands, not closed fists." Aron looked at his hands. Small, slightly dirty from the earth. Ordinary hands of a boy from a small village. And yet in them rested something that had been waiting for generations. That night the crystal showed him images. Old settlements. Fires around which both humans and beings of light sat together. Laughter that could not be separated. It sounded the same on both sides. It showed him war as well. A quiet, slow war of fear. How fences were built in the night. How children stopped listening to stories. How silence replaced conversation. Aron cried without knowing why. Perhaps because he recognized something, not from the past, but from the present. His own village had fences too. It also feared strangers. "What should I do?" he whispered. The crystal did not give a ready answer. Instead, it showed him a vision. Aron, a little older, sitting beside a fire. Around him, children listening. A storyteller. That was all. Not a warrior, not a wizard, not a chosen hero with a sword. Just someone who remembers and shares. Someone who builds bridges out of words. Aron took a deep breath. The forest still rustled around him. The crystal still shone, but softer now, calm, as if something that had carried a heavy burden for a long time had finally rested. "May I take you with me?" he asked. The crystal went dark. Then a trace of light appeared, not in the stone, but in Aron's eyes. He saw it reflected in a small pool of water beside the rock. They shone. The crystal remained in the hollow. But something of it went with Aron. Not power, not magic. Only memory. Only truth. And truth, however small, changes the one who carries it. Aron returned home before dawn. Grandma Mira sat on the doorstep wrapped in a shawl, as if she had been waiting for him. She looked into his eyes and simply nodded. She knew. She had always known, I was there too, she said quietly. Long ago. The crystal didn't want to speak to me then. She smiled, but there was sadness in the smile. But it sent me back. It said, wait. Aron sat beside her. Morning slowly painted the sky with peach colors. You were waiting for me? He asked. Grandma squeezed his hand. I was waiting for someone who would continue. That winter, Aron began telling stories. At first only to the children in the village, around the fire. He spoke about the forest, about the crystal, about forgotten bridges. The children listened with open mouths. The adults at first shook their heads. Fairy tales, they said. Children's stories. But some faces, while listening, gained a strange expression, as if remembering something they had never experienced. When spring blossomed, something changed in Stjenka. The fences still stood, but their gates were more often open. Strangers were more often invited to dinner. Aron did not know whether it was because of him. He never tried to measure it. He simply continued telling stories, in the village, in neighboring villages, and in the town reached by the winding mountain road. Everywhere he found the same eyes. People who had forgotten how to listen. People full of news but hungry for stories. People who knew facts but had lost meaning. The crystal was in each of them. One day, many years later, he returned to the forest. He was a grown man now, with a beard and tiredness in his steps. But the hollow in the stone was empty. Aron smiled. He was not sad. He understood. The crystal had not disappeared, it had scattered. Into every story he had told, into every child who listened and carried the story forward. He sat on the same stone where he had once sat and cried as a boy. The forest rustled around him. And then, just for a moment, he saw between the trees a trace of golden blue light. He did not run after it. He simply nodded. Like a greeting. Like gratitude. Like understanding between two beings who shared something that cannot be explained, only experienced. The crystal lived on. Not in stone, but in voices. In stories that travel from mouth to ear, from heart to heart, preserving the memory of what we once were and reminding us of what we can become. And every night, somewhere in the Forest of Eldara, between two oaks, the hollow in the stone would softly glow. Waiting for the next child. The next open hands. The next voice that would carry the memory. The end. The Magic Crystal, fantasy novel. At the end of our little adventure, we hope you enjoyed the journey through the story The Magic Crystal. If this fantasy tale managed to take you, even for a moment, into a world of magic, secrets, and ancient powers, then our mission has been accomplished. If you know someone who loves fantasy, magical worlds, and stories full of mystery, share this video with them. Maybe they too will want to step into the world of the Magic Crystal. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video as a sign of support for the creation of new fantasy stories and novels that we will explore together in the future. And now we would love to hear your opinion. How did you like this fantasy novel The Magic Crystal? Write your thoughts in the comments below. We would love to hear what you think and what kinds of stories you would like to listen to next.